All right, one more familiar face I want to bring up here, Joe, because we've talked about Pete Alonso, who's not officially back. We talked about Stanek, who is. Jose Iglesias still out there. I guess not a robust market for the pop star that is Candelita after such a incredible year with the Mets last year. I've really tried to wrap my brain around this a couple different ways, Joe. I think I've landed on the Mets would like to get to spring training and see what they have in their young guys before they just have Iglesias, fill a decent amount of at bats this year and obviously a utility role. But you made a really good point to me before that you also need to be careful where you're not forced to have Acuna be a utility guy because you want Acuna at his age to be playing consistently and developing. Do you think there's a world where Iglesias, who it's pretty clear, I think he'd love to be back. He's such a good fit here that the Mets go, you know what, let's bring Iglesias back in? Or is it one of those situations where it's like, hey, we have to leave spots open for other players or else we're just never going to find anything out about them?
It's, I think, a mix of the two. Like, I wouldn't be surprised that if we got a tweet in 2 hours, Mets and Jose Iglesias have agreed to a 1 year deal and he's back. But David Stearns, and I always remember certain things that he says consistently. And one thing he always consistently says is no matter what our payroll is, no matter what the team situation is, we always have to leave room and opportunity for young players to get opportunity. And me personally, my general belief is I don't want young players that I think have potential to be everyday type of players kind of just hanging out on the bench and playing periodically. So for me, I would try to bring Jose Iglesias back. And I know that in a way halts like a potential opportunity for Acuna on the opening day roster, but he's going to find his way here one way or another if he goes to AAA and does what he's supposed to. And I think it's more important for his development to get those consistent at bats, especially given how inconsistent he was at the AAA level last year. So for
Yeah.
me, I bringing Jose Iglesias back makes a lot of sense and would really, you know, take the make the bench a strength because as much as Francisco Lindor has played every game, his back has now started to flare up. I would be a little cautious on trying to play Francisco Lindor 162 games again. Brandon Nimmo, I know he's an outfielder, so it's a little different, but coming off the plantar fasciitis, that's another guy plays all the time. Pete Alonso, is he back? Is he not back? Because that's a guy that played 162 games. So you need that depth on the bench as well. And I think Iglesias is the perfect fit on the bench as just a contact oriented guy that can play defense all throughout the infield.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's a really good point that sometimes, and I'm guilty of this, you look at younger players that are going to get a chance at filling a role, and I think internally you always project the best outcome.
Right.
And naturally, that's what you want. And I think Iglesias gives you a floor at a key bench spot that, they'll know quickly, but it gives you a more of a comfort feeling by bringing back Iglesias. And that's honestly kind of the same argument in a way for Stanek. I think Stanek has a such a great postseason resume that played into it as well. But I think there's something there where it's like, yeah, we have all these arms. David Stern signs a different arm. It feels like every other day, and we're gonna get to Port St. Lucie and see what they have. But we know what a Ryan Stanek is, even at age
Right.
33. I know exactly what I'm getting from Ryan Stanek. So it is trying to establish a floor at as many spots on a Major League Baseball roster that you possibly can.
The thumbs up thing. If you're watching on YouTube, you might have just seen a thumbs up next to Connor's face. That was great.
I don't even know
But
how it did that.
I don't know, but very funny nonetheless.